All right, are y'all ready to get some awards? And to give some awards? Yes, indeed. All right, we will get going on that here in just a moment. I'm going to invite Gabe Quintana to come back up with us. But before we do that, I would like to first invite the Executive Director of the Associated Wall and Ceiling Contractor, of Oregon and Southwest Washington, and he is also the NWCB representative in Oregon. Y'all give a warm welcome to Mr. John Killen.
Thank you very much. So my job as the Executive Director of AWCC covers a wide variety of responsibilities, and that includes acting as the Bureau Rep and providing a little bit of technical support, as well as hosting seminars and events and parties. And it also allows me to observe the creation of some amazing buildings. Before we get into honoring a few of these projects, I would like to take a short moment to acknowledge 2023 as a special year for me and for AWCC. A few months ago, I was so pleased to celebrate my 10th anniversary with the association, and I'd so appreciate all of you welcoming me over that decade. And this coming November, we will recognize AWCC's 50th anniversary. That's 50 years of advocating for the success and longevity of the wall and ceiling industry. And I have to recognize one of the key people in that ran the association for 40 years. If Ed Charles is still in the room, give us a wave. Ed, you in there? No? Okay, you'll see Ed walking around. He's hanging out with us this week, and be sure to thank him for all his years of effort there. Today, we get to celebrate great construction. Every one of your projects has enormous competitive and complex organizational challenges, and all of that's wrapped into a big package of budgets and time constraints. But in the end, somehow, you turn out unique pieces of construction, unique in their engineering and in their design. Whether your project won an award or not, you should all be proud of your industry and what it can accomplish. The following projects caught the collective eye of the judges for their quality, professionalism, and in some cases, the sheer challenge involved. And here we go with the Oregon Chapter Awards.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. We are going to have John and Gabe up here on stage, and I'm going to read off the categories. I will read the category, the project, and then the winner. When you hear your name or your company's name, we'd like to ask that you walk on up to that side of the stage, my left, your right. Did I get that right? I have to look at the clue there. Make the L with your hand, right? So go to this one. Look at me now. Go to that side of the stage and wait until your video has played. Once your video has played, you can come up on stage if you would to get your prize and to get a picture taken, and then we will move on to the next award. Okay? You guys ready with those rules? It's always going to get jumbled anyway, but we're going to try it. Here we go. All right, our first category for interior, over $1 million. The project was the Vancouver Innovation, Technology, and Arts Elementary School. And your winner, the Harver Company.
Hi, my name is Eric Schlender, and I was the project manager for the Harver Company on the Vita Elementary School project. It is an honor to accept this award for interiors over $1 million category. Vita stands for Vancouver Innovation, Technology, and Arts. The school itself was designed by LSW architects and was made possible through a 2017 bond measure. The building materials and equipment within are state-of-the-art, and its combination of wood and concrete was a new design for LSW. The school is made up of vast open space learning centers and does not include classrooms in the classical sense. Coupled with a very challenging schedule, the biggest challenge of the project was material shortages throughout. From the baffles, specialty acoustics, gypsum, insulation, and wood products, along with major changes in the design during construction, organization and adaptability played an integral part in completing this project on time. Our team rose to the occasion and made it happen. I would like to thank our carpenter foreman on the project, Garrett Hurley, Dave Hill, and Dave Brigance, as well as our finishing foreman, Jesus Gallardo and Rhett Milton. Thank you again for this award.
Congratulations. All right, your second Oregon Award here tonight for interior under $1 million for the True Terpenes project. Your winner, Fred Shearer and Sons.
First, I'd like to thank the NWCB for picking our project submittal for this award, along with all their technical and industry support. I do need to thank all of the Fred Shearer and Sons craftsmen for their excellent work on this challenge and all of our other projects. Overall, this interior TI that we did had a mix of everything, including a clean room and wood ceilings. The big challenge for this space was the free-floating colored clouds 30 feet in the air. There are 3 separate layers to the clouds based on the color. One of the main issues that we had was the seismic bracing that was needed. Each cloud, regardless of the layer, needed to have 2 seismic struts that were 12 feet long, as well as the standard grid wires to support everything. That meant that we had to penetrate the upper clouds to get the lower clouds and keep the struts and wires hidden as much as possible. Another issue we had was keeping each cloud square, along with installing the tiles around the struts and wires. We ended up prefabbing each cloud grid on the ground and then installing them in one piece. That worked great. Lastly, I would like to thank the NWCB again for picking our project for this award. It's been an honor and a privilege to be recognized by our peers for a job well done.
For our third Oregonian Award, we've got exterior here for commercial, the Technical Services Building Project for Western Partitions. Congratulations. Come on up.
Hi, I'm Megan Marcourt, and I was the project manager on the Technical Service Building in Vancouver, Washington. I, along with the whole WPA team, are greatly honored and excited about this award. Our crew, along with Mortensen and Opsis, worked hard to ensure the installation process went smoothly. We successfully installed 123 prefabricated, pre-clad panels in less than 30 days, equating to a total of 30,000 square feet of enclosure. The panels were over 40 feet tall. A logistical factor to take into consideration were the existing buildings and barriers that we were not allowed to obstruct. We had a great team coordinating the best and most efficient panel setting sequence possible, while making sure to abide by all regulations set before us. The exterior panels consisted of backup panel with framing, sheathing, and weather barrier. We had a full outsulation cladding system that included insulation and 2 different cladding materials. Corrugated metal panels were installed at different angles and directions to give the building texture and dimension, as well as Swiss Pearl fiber cement panels with a hidden fastener system. By utilizing our off-site prefabrication facility, we were able to install the cladding system in a controlled environment. Our field, fabrication, and office teams are proud and excited about this project. We thank you for this award.
All right, in our category for suspended ceiling, the PDX Concourse B, give it up again for Western Partitions.
On behalf of WPI's skilled and dedicated tradespeople, our acoustical ceiling department, and the entire WPI team, I'm honored to accept this award. I'd like to thank our suppliers and subcontractors for their support, our fellow trades for their coordination, and Hoffman-Skanska Joint Venture for their leadership on this exciting project. The PDX Concourse B expansion resulted in 6 additional gates for Alaska and Horizon Airlines. In place of the previous concourse's low ceilings and windowless exterior walls, Concourse B is now an open, airy space with high ceilings and panoramic views. WPI scopes included fireproofing, framing, insulation, drywall hanging and finishing, plaster, and suspended acoustical ceilings. We faced an immediate challenge with a significantly delayed start and an inflexible completion date tied to airline flight schedules. Our dedicated crew worked overtime for nearly the entire duration to deliver an exceptional product on time. The suspended rule-on linear wood ceiling installed by WPI complements the concourse's plants, nature graphics, and wood art walls to create the feel of a Pacific Northwest forest. The angles from grid, adjacent walls, and overlapping ceilings required precise grid installation and panel cutting to realize the vision of Concourse B. To everyone who contributed to this project, thank you again.
All right, Oregon, we got 3 more for you. Here we go. Next up, for the light gauge steel framing over $1 million category. The project is the A Casino Resort Hotel. Congratulations, Performance Contracting.
It's an honor to accept this award on behalf of Performance Contracting for the light gauge steel framing over $1 million for the A Casino Hotel. We were fortunate to have the full support of Howard S. Wright and would like to thank their entire team, who was led by Todd Smith and Kevin James, and in the field by Rick Broom and Alan Perkowski. With their partnership, we took the basic scope of framing and changed it into a collaborative and innovative experience. The project design was ideal with repeatable floor plans, which allowed for early pre-planning and fabrication of interior framing and development of our pre-packaged kits. Our prefabrication process required extensive coordination with all MEP and structural trades to lock in all routings and connection points. These locations were established months in advance and were custom built into every interior panel. This was a challenging and detailed process for our prefabrication team, led by Jason Krieg and Junior Pisano. We're also lucky to have great trade partners in J.H. Kelly and OEG, who are led by Jake Haynes and John Brooks. However, none of this would have been possible without our general foreman Nathan and the men and women on his crew, who deserve a special thanks for their hard work and dedication. I would also like to thank PCI leadership for their foresight and vision, with a final thank you to the Northwest Wall and Ceiling Bureau for their recognition. Thank you.
All right, our sixth category for Oregon. Are we ready for the light gauge steel framing? This one under $1 million. The YMCA Salem project. Put your hands together for Mid-Valley Construction.
First off, I would like to thank our field crews, our contracting partner, CD Redding, and the YMCA. It was our pleasure to be a part of continuing a legacy of youth development and community involvement since 1892. This was when the doors of the first YMCA were opened to the public in Salem, Oregon. The vision outlined in the proposed plans emphasized the desire to combine the YMCA's long-standing values with 21st century technology and access to community resources. This is highlighted by some of the major additions this new building was designed around. There are several classrooms centered around youth development, meeting areas overlooking downtown Salem, and even a daycare which provides support to employees and members alike. Aside from the obvious challenges that the pandemic created around labor shortages and material bottlenecks, working around these challenges brought the project teams closer together and were focused on creating solutions. I am proud to accept this award for myself and the Mid-Valley Commercial Construction team. Also, thank you to the Northwest Wall and Ceiling Bureau and our trade partners and vendors.
All right, and our final category for Oregon this evening, restoration. The project is the Oregon Supreme Court building, the Harver Company. Congratulations.
It's an honor to accept this award for Oregon Supreme Court project on behalf of the Harver Company located in Salem. The Oregon Supreme Court stands the oldest building in the Capitol Mall and houses, along with Oregon's highest court, the Oregon Law Library and Repository of Historical Documents, dating back to the 15th century. Originally built in 1911, the three-story building showcases ornate cornices, rosettes, iconic columns, majestic capitals, massive corbels, plaster combing in the Beaux-Arts style, egg and dart molds, grape friezes, Greek keys, a gorgeous spiral staircase, and plenty of curved walls. Our team recreated plaster shapes made over 100 years ago. Some of the shapes include 3 different size rosettes, 2 and 3 foot tall corbels, French fravils, anthos leaves, egg and dart, lamb's tongue, and Greek keys. It was great to see the older plasterers working with the younger plasterers to hand the trade from one generation to another. I would like to thank you all for this award, as well as thanking our company owners, Kevin Hula, Art Cortez, and project foremen, John Adams, Caden Clunis, Mike Burbank, Randy Cobble, and their crews.
Oregon, you have been fully awarded tonight. It is Washington's turn. Gabe, you're stuck with me up here for a bit longer. John has already gone to take his seat. There we go. Thank you, John. And I would like to invite up as well the Director of Technical Services for the Northwest Wall and Ceiling Bureau, Pete Burns. Would you be so kind as to join us on stage as well? You have a fan. Several. All right, Washington, it is your turn. Ready? We got 8 more here. In the first category, this is interior over $1 million for the Ani South Lake Union project. KHS&S contractors, put your hands together for these folks.
(1120) Denny is a double 42-story apartment towers, 13-story podium, and 7-story underground parking garage project. I've probably said that over 100 times over the last few years explaining the size of this job. Originally, the owner-builder wanted to have 2 framing drywall subcontractors to handle this project, and KHS&S was looking at the parking garage and Tower 2. The podium and Tower 1 were originally to be done by another subcontractor, but those plans changed and KHS&S took on the entire project. The size of the job is what posed the real challenge. It's in the heart of Seattle with many other construction projects that were being built in the same neighborhood, so logistics was another major challenge. This was the largest job undertaken at the time by the KHS&S Seattle office. KHS&S had Kent Treen, project superintendent, oversee the entire project. Alec Burns ran Tower 1 and podium. Cody Coburn ran all operations in Tower 2, the parking garage, penthouses, amenities, and closed out the entire project at the end. Matt Castanola is the general superintendent and assisted everyone on the project in many ways and was the primary manpower coordinator tasked with staffing the job. Alan Jenkins was the senior project manager who trained me throughout the project from a project engineer to a senior project engineer, and at the end, a project manager, for which I'm extremely grateful.
Well, you're probably picking up on our pattern here. That was interior over $1 million. This will be for interior under $1 million. And we're talking about the Cantina Monarca project. Our winner, Western Partitions.
First of all, thank you to the NWCB for recognizing WPI on our efforts in this project. Cantina Monarca is a small Mexican restaurant located at Lincoln Square in Bellevue, Washington. This was definitely a unique project to say the least. WPI was contracted to perform metal framing, drywall, and plaster scopes on this project. The entire ceiling was comprised of pre-framed panels from Radius Track that were to be installed in different elevations. They ranged in size from 8 foot by 8 foot to 2 foot by 2 foot, and only a handful out of the 50-plus panels were square. Each had a unique size and shape and had to fit together like a puzzle to create the ceiling substrate. The wall framing was equally complex. They either serpentined along the floor or had radius features built into them. By coming up with different layout techniques, using the QML laser machine, our team was able to install all of the panels and frame the walls as designed. The plaster scope then followed behind the framing and drywall to finish the radius wall features. All of WPI's work then integrated with the other finishes, including the wood sticks that Bailey eventually requested our help with, installing to create a one-of-a-kind dining experience. A special thanks to our WPI team that worked on this for being handed something different, making it their own, and absolutely crushing it. This could not have been done without their hard work, confidence, and talented minds. Our WPI team is beyond grateful for such an amazing working relationship with the Bailey team and to each and every person involved in the completion of this project.
All right, next up for the exterior residential category. The project is the Waverly Project. Put your hands together for your winner, Performance Contracting.
Hello, my name is Julie Swartz with Performance Contracting. I was fortunate enough to be the project manager on the Waverly project, and I am pleased to accept the award for Exterior Residential Project of the Year. The Waverly project is a 321-foot apartment tower featuring 374 luxury units and is located across the street from Denny Park and offers beautiful views of the Space Needle, the city, and the waterfront. The tower consists of 29 floors above grade with 2 additional mechanical roof levels and 4 levels of below grade parking. The exterior of the building consists of metal panel and glass, allowing it to blend in, making it a perfect addition to the Seattle skyline. PCI's scopes of work consisted of the following: interior and exterior metal stud framing, gypsum board assemblies, fire stopping, fireproofing, acoustical ceiling assemblies, and isolated ceilings. The main challenge on this project was the start of COVID-19 pandemic. The project was just getting into full swing when the entire project was mandated to shut down. Once the initial lockdown was over, we quickly adapted to the new norm and adopted new masking and sanitation requirements. The pandemic also brought along supply shortage issues, just another challenge to deal with throughout the project. Once the project was up and running 100%, all the trades on the project came together to get this project completed with very little delays and as safely as possible. I would like to thank our suppliers and a special thanks to our entire team at Performance Contracting. Thank you.
Gorgeous. All right, here we go for the exterior commercial now. The project is the Foster School of Business, the Founders Hall, and our winner, Performance Contracting.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Atchison, a project manager for Performance Contracting. I was fortunate enough to be a part of the University of Washington Founders Hall project, a 5-story, 85,000 square foot addition to the Foster School of Business that was the first building on the UW campus to incorporate a mass timber structure. PCI was able to prefabricate a majority of the exterior enclosure panels via BIM modeling each prefabricated panel and creating a panel ticket that details all aspects required for the panels to be fabricated at an off-site controlled location. The Founders Hall project consisted of a total of 194 exterior panels with a total of 27 unique panel types. One of the challenges faced was incorporating the 3/16-inch steel brick ledger supports into the metal stud frame panels, which solely carried the entire load of the brick facade in lieu of traditionally tying the brick ledger back to the structure. The benefit of incorporating the brick ledger into the panel was to remove the continuous weather air barrier penetration caused by the brick ledger when attached back to the structure, so that when the exterior prefabricated panels were set, minimal penetrations were remaining through the continuous air barrier enclosure. Members of the PCI team to thank include Chad Nyer, Garrett D'Ambra, Don Deskin, Sam Chen, Josh Dick, John Kessinger, and Wade Christensen.
With our 12th award of the evening, the category in suspended ceiling. The project, the Seattle Convention Center Edition, and your winner, give it up for Heartland Acoustics and Interiors.
The Washington State Convention Center Edition is a large expansion of the WSCC complex and features over 500,000 square feet of usable space, boasting 62 meeting rooms, a massive top floor ballroom, and plenty of exhibition space with an excess of mixing areas. This building is among the most expensive ever built in Seattle. Our scope consisted of 180,000 square feet of specialty metal ceilings, wood grill ceilings and walls, and felt ceilings. The largest portion was the Arcturus soft grid ceiling, which was mostly just 3 massive ceilings that covered a total of 100,000 square feet. These wrapped around a huge ballroom and meeting rooms in the center of the building. The Arcturus scope posed unique challenges due to the immense amount of coordination required to design a grid layout that worked for all the MEP devices and maintained suitable supports for the felt ceiling modules. We had to start building the ceiling at one corner of the building, split it into 2 runs, and run down 300-foot corridors and have the 2 ceilings meet at the other end of the building. So making sure the grid stayed on perfect layout was crucial for the system. Our crew used the Hilti PL layout tool to build it with perfect precision. The project was very successful and is a great looking building. Big thanks to the whole crew that was out there, and especially our lead foreman, Steve Tolliver, for putting together a great project.
All right, here we go for the light gauge steel framing category in over $1 million. The U.S. Bank Center is the project, and your winners, KHS&S Contractors.
Hi, my name is Alan Jenkins, Senior Project Manager for KHS&S Contractors. We are really proud of our team and what we accomplished at the U.S. Bank Center renovation project. Everything about the framing on this project was unique. There were 50-foot high sloped walls that curved into a sloped drywall ceiling with their compound curves and angles. There were twisting and turning walls and ceilings, light coves that transitioned down and became portals skewed at off angles, hardly a straight line in the building. And these elements had to be perfect since they were covered with custom cut tile and stone. We partnered with Studio Construction and our own in-house modeling teams to create shop drawings, and we created prefabbed elements using our Howick machine. We also partnered with ADI on some of the suspended ceiling elements. The MVP goes to Mark Wagner, our project superintendent. He's been working in this trade for decades, and if he was here today, he would tell you that he had never been on such a challenging project, but he nailed it. Also, kudos to Austin Janes, who somehow estimated this project, and for Mark's team on site, Bryant Dieppe and James Madamba, as well as Will Compton from our Vegas team. If you are watching this presentation, you have an appreciation for tricked out metal stud framing projects. Stop by and take a look at US Bank Center. You will look around and say, wow, just like we did.
I'm sold. I want to stop by the U.S. Bank Center for sure. Nicely done. All right, we got 3 more. Here we go. Ready? The category is renovation. Your project, the Queen Anne Exchange. Give it up for one of the more fun names to announce here. Pronunciations tonight, G.K. Knutson.
The Queen Anne Exchange was constructed in 1921. A new cold-formed steel penthouse features private terraces overlooking the Seattle skyline and Mount Rainier. The residential units have modern interiors with vintage charm, where sections of missing plaster and exposed brick were left in the design to add historic character. The building owner, Chris Fall, was on site making decisions quickly to keep things moving. Venture General Contracting did a great job facilitating the owner's request with the project team. The building design required seismic upgrades throughout the building, utilizing cold-formed steel. Space and access were very limited and did not allow for pre-manufactured stairs to be installed as originally planned. So we provided design and engineering of 9 flights of cold-formed steel stairs and landings. This change proved to be fun and challenging.
Next up, the restoration category. Yes, excuse me. Wait, that was renovation. This is restoration. Yes, I can read. Here we go. The Mount Vernon High School project, and your winner, Femme Pena.
everybody, my name is Trindy Pham, and I'm incredibly honored to accept this award on behalf of Fampania Inc. This 100-year-old building is a perfect example of early 20th century masonry and historical plaster school construction. The objective was to restore the historic character and legacy of the building that has been serving thousands of students each year. The highlight of the building is the auditorium, which, over the century, the extraordinary coffered ceilings, crown molding, capitals, and medallions have been severely deteriorated. This job was no easy feat. With a slim budget, we had to do comprehensive value engineering, where we determined what areas should be plaster and what should be taping material to reduce cost, working hard with the owners and the GC to make it happen. Another important challenge was to retain the historical character of the ornamental plaster, such as the unique Native American medallion, without making it too obvious to the observer that it had been repaired. Our team worked diligently and innovatively to renew the historically rich pieces while retaining its legacy. We would like to thank Vanderlip for their partnership, working with us so closely to get this job done, as well as Evergreen Building Products for their support in supplying everything we need. And last, but definitely not least, NWCB for coming out to the project and providing their expertise. Thank you.
And last, but certainly not least, in the category of stucco and eaves, the project is Pasco. Your final winner of the evening, Superior Stucco Services.
Hey guys, it's an honor to accept this award for exterior stucco on behalf of Superior Stucco Services. Pasco is a Tudor-style high-end residence in the Laurelhurst neighborhood of Seattle with a stucco exterior and colored Venetian plaster interior. We started it in the middle of 2020, so it included all the fun COVID issues you guys have been dealing with at your job sites. But shockingly, this job actually went pretty smoothly, all things considered. We didn't win an award for it, but I'm incredibly proud of the colored Venetian plaster interior work we performed. Every outside corner was a hand-formed radius corner, and most doorways were hand-formed arches. And there was even a real-life hobbit hole. I'd like to thank everyone at the Bureau for putting on this incredible conference and recognizing us for this project. I'd like to thank my manufacturers and material supplier, Salem Bay, who got us critical materials during the supply chain crisis. I'd like to thank my incredibly skilled lathers and plasters who have mastered their crafts and make projects like this possible. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my dad and my two uncles, Uncle Al and Uncle Kelly, for teaching me just about everything I know about this trade and trusting me to run a project like this. Thank you.
All right, guys, that is our awards. How about a round of applause for everybody who won tonight and all the rest of you as well?